So, Marlian Records has been getting it right for a while.
Yeah.
And you have this opinion that they're the hottest record label in Nigeria. Why do you think so?
I don't think it's an opinion, it's a fact. That currently, Marlian Records is the hottest Nigerian record label. And it's taking them a while to get here. But I feel the conversation is worth having. That it's because it was unlikely. When Naira Marley was starting the record label, everybody, including myself, felt like it was sort of a fool's errand at the time. There was no faith from the Nigerian public. And there was a lot of criticism at the time because it wasn't a problem of talent, right? It was more a problem of, can he create a structure that can allow artists to thrive? Can he create an enabling environment for their talents to thrive? Can he create success that can truly mark the Nigerian mainstream? And over the past 3, 4, 5 months, the answer has been resounding. It's been a resounding yes, surprisingly. And I feel like it's worth talking about that Naira Marley's Marlian Records has been the hottest Nigerian record label. It's currently Nigeria's hottest record label. Now, people might argue that YBNL dropped 2 fantastic albums in 2020. And Olamide's Carpe Diem, which was just out of here, had a couple of hits, a lot of hits. Fireboy's album was also really good. But we are talking about hot, not brand equity, right?
Not best.
Not best. Maven, I also have something to say about that. They have Rema, they have Crayon, now they have Era Star, right? It's not about best, it's not about brand equity, it's not about the best strong label, it's about hot. Because, and why this is what happened is because, this conversation is what happened is because nobody thought this was going to happen. Nobody. But here we are.
So how did it get here?
Well, we have to start from December 2019. After when Naira Marley announced his label, right? At Marlian Fest in December 2019, he unveiled his artists, CBlvck, MohBad, Zinoleesky, which was surprising, and then Fabian Blu, who was crying on stage for some reason that nobody understood. And the boy can sing actually. Zinoleesky was an internet, an internet sensation before then. MohBad on his last EP, on his debut EP, his only EP actually. The last song on his debut EP, he talked about how he met Naira Marley and how Naira Marley changed things for him. And then CBlvck, on Naira Marley's, in the first quarter of 2020, he felt like CBlvck was going to be the guy. Then MohBad started dropping certain songs. And then Zinoleesky, obviously, everybody knew Zinoleesky was going to be a star. Like, on our list in January 2020, artists to work for 2020, he was there. He made that list. And all of a sudden, everything just started happening at the same time. Naira Marley was being Naira Marley. Like, more than before, a few of his singles last year didn't exactly work. But when they started working, when they worked, they really worked. For example, his 2 current singles, Chichi, which I don't like Chichi, but Chichi is, people love Chichi. It's not about me, I'm just one person, right? People love Chichi, people love the other record they released. People loved, even more than they love Chichi. Then there's MohBad, who dropped an EP. His Ponmo record is bubbling under in Nigeria currently. But Kupoke with Rexy just went like that. It's just really sad that we didn't have Dirty December. If we had Dirty December and they had shot a video for Kupoke, that song would have just gone like that. And imagine if they had done a remix of Kupoke with like Olamide and Davido. That would have been Shocky times part 2. It would have gone like that. And then Zinoleesky, his Chrome Eccentric EP is incredible. It's beautiful. Maybe not incredible, but it's such a quality EP. It showcased everything the boy is about. Like, it was delivering like a hip hop. Let's go into that. But his EP was really good. Before his EP, he had pwario. Now it's Kilofeshe, which is one of the hottest songs in Nigeria right now. It's been one of the hottest songs in Nigeria for about 1 month and some weeks. So you can't argue the fact that Marlian Records, they are here. Now, the singles for Instagram for Fabian Blu, it didn't exactly work, but people now know who Fabian Blu is. At least people who know what the music industry is, they know who he is. So you can't say that you don't know what's going on. And then another thing that they really did that's working for them is they have the stamp of the Nigerian mainstream. They carry the identity of the Nigerian mainstream, right? Regardless of age, people can relate to who Naira Marley is. And one way or the other, Naira Marley has been able to put his stamp on all his artists without overshadowing them, right? But it's just still a shame that some of them are, like someone like a MohBad is trying to mirror Naira Marley a little too much. But right now, it's working for him. In the long term, it might not, but it's still working for him right now, right? The Nigerian mainstream is a very interesting organism. Like we have said over and over and over again, over 50% of Nigeria is under 19. And people, a large part of those people, now when we are talking about the Nigerian mainstream, we are not talking about people who live in Lekki. We're not talking about people who, I'm talking about the people who live in Agigi. If you go to Akure right now, it will blow your mind the amount of Naira Marley they are listening to in that place. Now you might say streaming and this and that. Maybe you don't know, but Naira Marley is one of the biggest Nigerian artists on YouTube. And YouTube Main is the biggest streaming platform in Nigeria now. Anytime Naira Marley drops anything, his YouTube numbers are crazy. Either it was Opotoyi part 2, whatever, it's big. It goes crazy. His numbers have always been healthy. Anytime you go to the YouTube music charts, Naira Marley is usually in the top 10 whenever a song is blowing up. So these guys have this, they represent the elements of Nigerian mainstream. Like you might not, and it's not about language, right? One of the hottest songs in Nigeria right now is Highway by Fino and DJ KY and Fino. You might argue that, oh, it's not about language. People are jamming that song in Akure. They don't know what Fino is talking about. They don't know the first thing he's talking about. But because the song, there is an identity, there's a street identity, there's something all Nigerians can relate to. There's the way you are going to present yourself, the way you are saying things. I might not understand what you're saying, but I know that stuff is fire. That's what these boys have. The mainstream is supporting them and is really, really, really working out for them. Naira Marley has also found a way to make sure a lot of these boys, like I was saying the other time, the stamp is on them. pwario, for example, right? He featured on pwario. He featured on a song. He's featured on a song with MohBad. He's on Ponmo, which is one of MohBad's hottest records. His own record, one of his own biggest records. He's featured on his own record. It's also really big. But at this time, he's trying to take a step back from all of them. He didn't feature at all on Zinoleesky's EP. On MohBad, he's trying to take a step back. When you look at it now, he's stepping away. And it mirrors the fact that a lot of what he's doing is following a template. There's a YBNL template for everybody. You might not even know, it might not be intentional, but you are following it. Olamide's template is ridiculous in this country. Like even the artist is signed, right? So two of them can sing. But one of those people that can sing, it can really, really sing. Like he has the word, that's Fabian Blu. That's an Olamide thing. And one of them that can sing speaks to the street. That's also Olamide. And he has a bunch of rappers. That label is basically YBNL 2015. The first wave of YBNL recreated in another format and with different artists. It's not the same. I'm not saying it's a direct copycat version, but it's fine to be inspired by things. It's fine. So this is also one of the impacts of Olamide. But one thing he should do right now, it would be fantastic if all of them could jump on a group album after they dropped their solo albums and they are still popping. It would be fantastic for them to drop a group album, something that YBNL never did. And there's also the part of strategy, right? As much as streaming platforms these days, they are friendly towards artists that the Gen Z market can like. Like Gen Z determine what goes in Nigerian music or in music industries across the world because they are the generation that's in vogue. Younger millennials, a lot of them are moving into working. They have responsibilities. That means they have less time for things like TikTok. They have less time for things like social media. Some younger millennials are living off things they create on social media. But a large part of them are not exactly making a living off social media. So that means they might not be on social media like they used to be 5 years ago. But Gen Z, a lot of them are still in school. They are young. They are doing this. They are doing that. That's why a lot of them can be on TikTok, and you and I cannot be on TikTok because we don't have time to create those videos, right? So streaming platforms are getting friendly to some of these Gen Z artists because they are the next frontier. They are the next avenue that's the next avenue for streaming platforms to be able to create relationships, to create lasting bonds Like, you remember what you know what the streaming platform did with Drake, the era of Drake, Adele, Taylor Swift, and Ed Sheeran, and some of those other people. They're still benefiting of those things today. Those guys have gone on to become the biggest artists in the world. So streaming platforms make bets on people. But what Naira Marley has been able to do is, those guys, for some reason, because of proper marketing, right? Proper marketing. If they were not properly marketed, the streaming platforms wouldn't even pick them up in the if there wasn't proper pitching from someone, so nobody would have picked them up in the first place, right? Somebody is working there, and the way the plugging of the music has been going, radio and TV airplay, those songs are going crazy on those platforms. You are looking at Kilofeshe on radio, you are looking at it on TV. Everywhere you go, you are listening to Pocket, right? So you can't say you are deaf and not know what's going on. And the final point why this is working for them, they have an in-house producer. Look at all the dynasties, all the label dynasties over the years in Nigeria. They all have an in-house producer. More hits, they had Don Jazzy. YBN had Fuse, they had Fuse. They had Young John had Fuse, then became Fuse. Now it's P Prime, right? It's Cracker at some point, but Fuse, it can help define sound. It can help. You can experiment with each other. You can borrow off each other. You can bounce ideas off each other. And there's a trust that is created, right? So these things help them. The fact that they have an in-house producer somewhere who is working for them and making things work. That's one of the reasons why this is working.
Okay. What are the downsides of these movements?
Well, the brand has a high, the brand of the label has a high resonance with the streets, right? The street is where the money is. Like rapper IQ would always say, like, the street is where the money is. If you want to do anything, make sure the streets accept it. If you really want to be successful. Like, look at Burna Boy. When Burna Boy really cracked it, to become that superstar, Killing Them, he had to make that Killing Them. He had to. Killing Them was the record that I was performing on shows that everybody was going crazy. Anytime Burna Boy would perform Killing Them on African Giant Tour, everybody would go crazy, right? However, Burna Boy is not from the streets. He's not exactly a mainstream person. He's not exactly a Lamba specialist like Zlatan or Naira Marley or MohBad or Zinoleesky. This boy, the moment you see them, you are looking at the streets, right? The brand has to be more dense than that. The Zinoleesky brand is sort of evolving in a way to become cooler. It's getting on Africa now. It's on DJ Copy's show on Apple Music. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's speaking English. He's talking about playing Grand Theft Auto. Intentional stuff, right? But they still have some work to do to make that brand as dense as possible. And the second thing, a lot of the rappers that rap in Yoruba on that label need to sound less like Naira Marley. The things that make Naira Marley, they are following a lot of the Naira Marley templates. The vulgarity, the carelessness, the brashness, the avant-garde style to life, the avant-garde culture of life, the avant-garde way of life. They are following it a little bit. It's working, but is it sustainable? Will it last? Only time will tell. But history has suggested to us that when you are trying to repeat certain things, they might not exactly work as you intended. It might work for a while, but will it work for a long time? Those guys have to make sure that the brand is dense enough, to make sure that brand is more expansive than that. And that's facts for me.